All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my non-spoiler review for the release of one of the biggest movies ever. That is for Avengers Endgame. Alright dudes, so this one will be a non-spoiler review since it's just hitting today and everybody's basically just getting a chance to go and see it. Not counting, midnight watches and things like this, or early releases for Endgame. So, got a chance to see it, man. Luckily this year got a chance to see it pretty much right away. I definitely wanted to because Infinity War turned out better than I expected. So, just to get to finally see Avengers Endgame, because it is kind of, they're calling it Endgame because it does feel like sort of a fitting end to the Avengers, right? I mean, obviously, the Marvel MCU is going to continue on forward. There's going to be more Marvel movies. I mean, the amount they've released in the different phases, starting, if you consider it to be Phase 1 in 2008 with Iron Man, had Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, and then we went on from there. Avengers started in 2012. So we finally got to see them come together in 2012. But now we're in 2019, man. So there's been a lot of Marvel movies, from the Iron Mans to the Incredible Hulk, if you want to count that one, to the Thor movies, to the Captain America movies, to the Avengers movies, Doctor Strange and Guardians of the Galaxy and Spider-Man. Oh, man. A lot of Marvel movies in the MCU phases that we've seen now, and a lot of characters. So again, with this one, just like with Infinity War, it must have been very difficult for them to incorporate everybody because you have all these different characters, and even more, I want to say now, than you did then, because now you're adding in some of the new, like Captain Marvel, and of course you want to still be kind of honest to each character because a lot of them have their own supporting cast. You have, for example, Captain America has his own supporting cast, even Bucky and Falcon and everybody. And then you've got with Iron Man, Pepper, and even Doctor Strange. Like, they all have, from their own backgrounds and their own movies, their own supporting cast. So you have Michonne Okoye from Black Panther, right? So, and even she gets, some good time in the movie, and a lot of the others do as well too. So again, just like with Infinity War, ever impressed with their ability to kind of divvy up the time and make sure that everybody gets enough touch time, or everybody gets enough screen time to, have an impact on the viewer. So that, if a certain viewer, their favorite is maybe Cap and his kind of movies and the different, Bucky and the others, then you get that, right? If it's Iron Man, then you get his supporting cast as well there too. If it's somebody else, or like, Spider-Man, because he's attached to Iron Man as well too. So some really good stuff as far as that goes. And I feel like they didn't really leave anybody out, at least in terms of my taste and the characters that I like from the movies. Even, Captain Marvel, she gets her chance to shine and to do her thing. And it fits really well with what they do in the movie. And I'll make this non-spoiler. I won't give too much away, but the characters that they do give a little bit extra time to, especially closer to the end, and the decisions that they made leading up to the end for the final, kind of battle and Endgame against Thanos, I feel like they made some really good decisions. They made some really good choices with who they chose to use, and just the way things kind of turned out. I'll probably do a spoiler review in the next day or so for you guys, as everybody gets a chance to actually go out and see it themselves, where we go into the specifics of each character and everything and give our thoughts on it. But overall, in the movie, I mean, it is very epic. If you look at the runtime of both these movies with because this one really is like a part 2, right, to Infinity War with Endgame. It's Thanos. Sure, they've set it up and they've touched on some of the other movies as well too, but it's a continuation. It's like a 2-parter for the Avengers to have, Thanos as the villain for Infinity War, and then also with Endgame here. And the total runtime for the movies, and it is a bit long, heads up. So if you're going to see it, check it out, because it is a few hours. And in total, they're almost 6 hours in terms of the 2 parts together. So 6 hours is a long time, right? And when you're seeing this one through, some of the battles and some of the stuff that you see, it does kind of feel a bit like, okay, maybe a bit stretched, right? But at the same time, you got to give everybody enough time. You have to make it feel epic, because it is an epic movie. It's not just it's not just a regular Marvel movie. It's like an event, just as I said with Infinity War. You're seeing all these different characters come together from all the different movies, and it continues to feel very epic, without feeling too, at least for me, without feeling too repetitive, because it is the part 2. So we have already seen some, big battles in the first one with Thanos, and different fights one-on-one between him and some of the different Avengers, Cap and Thor, some of the others. So it feels new enough, it feels fresh enough to where it doesn't feel like too repetitive after seeing the first one with Infinity War going into Endgame. So it does feel to me like a fitting end to the MCU that we've seen so far, and kind of a first cap off to the what started in 2008 with Iron Man being the first kind of MCU Marvel movie. The future of it, I mean, I'm sure that the Marvel movies will continue to just go on forward and do their thing and be awesome, and everyone will love them and everything. They've really done a good job of kind of opening it up to where, connecting is one thing, but they've made it feel like an immersive universe that's all cohesive, that you have all the different movies and different characters in Asgard and different places all kind of coming together, Guardians of the Galaxy and everything from different places in the MCU. Just like in the comics, when you have kind of that, you have certain comics like Siege, or, certain ones, Infinity War, you have them all kind of come together. You have everybody kind of come together to fight, and the storylines kind of cross over and everything kind of combined to be an event rather than just, one story arc in a comic or one issue. It's got to be epic, and this one was epic, very, very epic. I think fans of the Marvel comics, that go back. I mean, I've been reading, with these characters in Marvel since I was probably, 4 years old, 3 years old, old enough to actually understand what I'm even looking at. Like, oh, he looks cool. I like that shield. He's got a shield. I like that shield. That's cool. And this guy wears a metal suit or an iron suit. That's so cool, right? You hear like the theme song and everything. So, man, I'm pretty happy with it and what they chose to do. It's bold enough so it doesn't feel too simplistic. Some of it does feel to be a bit predictable. I did some predictions leading up to this one. But in other ways, it doesn't. Like, it is and it isn't. Certain things, obviously, it's the second part. You're going to see them fight against Thanos. There's certain things that might be a little bit predictable, but it's not overly predictable to the point where who's going to survive, who's not, and what's going to happen with all those characters that went bye-bye after at the end of the first movie, Infinity War. So very happy with the movie. Enjoyed it a lot. I'm going to give it a 9.3 out of 10 for Endgame. Do I think it's one of the best superhero movies ever? I think the two, again, it's hard to. It's two. There are two different movies, but they're the same, right? They're continued. It's like one 6-hour long movie, or 4 or 5.5 hours, however many minutes it works out to be between the two of them. It's like they're unified. So not just a sequel, but it's so closely that it's like they're really, it's two parts to a long movie, one of the most epic movies we've ever seen, probably, or events that Marvel will ever do. So where do they go from here? We'll see. Open to predictions. I mean, they're really kind of just getting started, but this is when things got rolling in 2008 or 2009 or 2012 in the first Avengers movie. I don't think any of us thought that they could ever do movies that were this epic and this grand, right? In terms of just the palette of all the characters and the war and just the all the action and everything. It's really come a long way compared to where they started, and even further from where movies were at prior to that. Really amazing stuff. So that's kind of what I thought, non-spoiler, about the movie. Really enjoyed it. Was surprised at certain parts, was sad at certain parts, was happy at others, and just really enjoyed to see kind of this final sort of hurrah for all of the Avengers. So we'll leave it there, because otherwise we'll start getting into spoilers. So we'll leave that for another video. Let me know what you guys thought if you got a chance to see it. If you like this video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, this is Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.